you ready for a music revolution? Are you ready for change and evolution?
All right, I'm out here at Waterfront Park in Trenton, New Jersey, speaking with one of the most versatile guys on the New Hampshire roster, John Tolisano. John, if you were going to scout yourself, what could you tell me about John Tolisano?
That's a tough question. You know, I try to be as versatile as I can. You know, I grew up playing one position, shortstop, and you know, got drafted, moved to second base, and got asked to play a little outfield this past year. And you know, it just kind of goes along with, you know, the switch hitting and everything. So it's definitely a perk to be able to play all these positions and be able to switch hit and all the above. So
right. Now, you dealt with elbow surgery last year, missed a lot of time. What can you tell me about your 2010 season, which culminated, I guess, Arizona Fall League time, right?
Yeah. You know, the season actually started off really well, and then by I think it was the beginning of July, I hyperextended my elbow, and you know, I ended up having a bone spur and having to have my nerve flipped, and had you know, so I missed the rest of the season. I only had like 200 at bats, and you know, went to instructional ball, and you know, got healthy, and so they decided to send me to Arizona Fall League to get some, you know, extra at bats, and went well, and you know, so I was very fortunate to be able to go do that.
Now, you know, I talk to guys from time to time when you have a serious setback like that and you miss a lot of time, and then you go to Instructs, and then you go to Arizona Fall League. Does that help you stay on you know, on progression pace? You know, do you feel like you missed time even though, you know, you still caught up with that bat, still caught up with time on the field?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like, you know, everything stayed on track. You know, I was able to, like I said, go to the Fall League, and then because I had a, you know, Fall League, I was able to go to you know, camp and spring training and stuff. So yeah, no, definitely, I feel like, you know, I learned a lot, and you try to take everything and see what you can get from it, you know.
Major League Baseball draft is back this week. Back in 2007, you were a second-round draft pick by Toronto. What can you tell me about your draft process back then? You know, were you tracking it? I don't know if it was online quite yet at that point. You know, how were you tracking it? Did you celebrate, and how did you celebrate?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was online, and you know, it was my family and my two high school coaches and a couple of my close friends were at my house, and we were watching it online, and I'd get phone calls from, you know, different teams and stuff, and finally the Blue Jays called and made me an offer, and you know, we agreed on something, and they picked me. So it was an exciting time. But the draft's a funny thing. You never know what's going to happen. So.
Did you have a big crowd with you alongside while you were tracking it and waiting for that pick to come through?
No, just you know, my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and you know, a couple of my close friends, and both my high school coaches. So.
Toronto was on the radar, though. They had been in touch. They had been following you closely. So was it a surprise, or you know, were they expected to kind of call your name?
Honestly, there was a scout at literally every one of my high school games that year, and it was I wasn't expecting it because it was the first phone call I got from them. You know, I had gotten a few phone calls from, you know, the Cardinals and the Braves and stuff, and a few other teams, and you know, I wasn't actually expecting the Blue Jays. They just called me, made me an offer, and bam, I was drafted by them. So
you said there was a scout at every one of your high school games, different scouts, different teams?
No, with the Blue Jays. The guy that drafted me, he was at every single one of my games that year. So.
Now, there's a great vibe in the clubhouse here in the dugout with this New Hampshire Fisher Cats squad all year long. I talked to a few guys, Mike McDade, the coaching staff. Where do you think that this good relationship, this great vibe with the team starts?
You know, it definitely starts with the manager, and you know, Sal puts us in a great environment, and you know, the guys on the team, we just gel great together, and you know, from day one we've meshed, and you know, it's been a great environment.
Now, you know, you're with New Hampshire. You've been in Dunedin. You've been all through the system up until this point. What's some of the best things about playing for New Hampshire?
Definitely the guys around this team, and you know, the environment that Sal puts out, and you know, like I said, I'm very fortunate to be able to play in an environment like this. That's, you know, we're learning, but we're, you know, teach us how to play the game the right way and go about things the right way. So it's definitely a great time. So.
Well, now we're out here in Trenton, New Jersey, and there's a developing or an existing already a fledgling rivalry between these two clubs. You know, they met in the playoffs last year. It's back and forth. Two best records in the Eastern League here. What can you tell me about this rivalry? Is it perceived or is it legitimate that there's something like that going on between these two squads?
Trenton's a very good team, and we love coming here and playing them, and it's just good competition, and it's one of those things that both teams just come out and lay it all out in the field, and or takes it.
Does it add to it that ultimately these two organizations are rivals at the highest level? Or does that not really come into play at AA?
I don't know if that actually comes into play here, but I don't know.
That's it. That's good. Couple odd ones for you before I let you go, and thank you for taking the time. Who's the MLB pitcher you'd most like to face if you could face one guy?
Oh man. I've never thought of that before. I don't know.
All right. And then one last thing. I've coached Babe Ruth League age kids, age 13 to 15. If you had an opportunity to speak to kids that age that were hoping to play baseball beyond high school, whether it's college or professionally, what advice could you give to kids that age, seeking to enhance or continue their baseball careers?
Just be on the field as much as you can. Play as much baseball as you can, play in as many games as you can. Experience is the best thing for them. So if you can get out there and just, listen and take in as much as you can, you're going to learn a lot. So.
All right, so we'll go back and you passed over the one Major League Baseball question, so I'll ask you another one. Guys, who are some guys you looked up to as far as Major League Baseball players growing up?
I played shortstop, so I always liked watching Jeter, and that his play that he'd always make in the hole where, he'd go backhand it and jump and throw it first. I'd always, my dad would watch the game, and he'd be like, Johnny, come here, Jeter just did it, and play the replay, and I come and, I watch, I remember that. And, so, Jeter was definitely one of the guys I really liked to watch.
Now, I've talked to Mastriani in the past and asked him same question. He said Jeter as well. He grew up in and around New York there, and hard to be a New York kid and not like Jeter, I guess. And it's not necessarily a popular answer, but hopefully it's an answer that fans of the Blue Jays, fans of the whole system can respect. And thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you.
All right.